think these speakers may have had it. I am thankful technology works, at least sometimes. Good morning. Welcome to All Souls. This is the Sunday that we do our congregational celebration of Thanksgiving. We're glad you're here and hope you will stay for all of the service, part of which will be down in the social hall. If you're looking at one of the orders of service, fear not, the service will not be as long as what is written. I'm actually going to cut some elements out. So this is a congregation, this is a tradition that's built on covenant rather than creed. We are here in our promise to one another for how we're going to try to live in this world, and to the principles that we share with Unitarian Universalist congregations across the country and around the world. If you are curious about what those are, there's literature in the foyer that can help you get a better handle on some of that stuff. But mostly it says we don't have to think alike to love alike. And whoever you are, whatever your age, race, origin, orientation, background, status, ability, identity, if you care to worship with us, you are welcome here. James, is that one off? Okay, I'm sorry. It's not an easy thing to do, to build a congregation with people who don't necessarily agree with you. But hopefully we are in agreement that how we live this life is important. And what we do to try to build compassionate, beloved community is also important. So to talk about some of what we do trying to accomplish that here and in the world, we front load these services with a little bit of information. So whoever you are, whatever your age, race, origin, orientation, background, status, ability, or religious perspective, if you care to be here with us in mutual respect, you are more than welcome. And I invite our board treasurer, Rebecca Tuggle, up to give you some information.
Thanks, Barbara. Good morning. Good to see everybody here this morning. All right, so first off, our volunteer of the month, who happens to be here with us today, Bennett Upton, for his, yes, everybody. Because this man has given a lot to this church. He is past board president right now. He works on tech problems. He works on lighting problems. I can't think of too many problems that Bennett doesn't work on. So yes, one more time for Bennett Upton, volunteer of the month for this month. Our giveaway the plate recipient this month is the Food Bank of Northwest Louisiana. They provide the primary resources for most of the food banks in our area, as well as for the Highland Blessing Dinner that we participate in on Thursdays. They are basically keeping the people of our region fed in a really hard time. And so anything that you donate, of course, we've got baskets stationed at the front or the back of the sanctuary, depending on your perspective. Where we no longer pass these, so if you would just please put your donations in there. Anything that is not marked pledge, we do pass on to give away the plate. So those donations are going this month to Northwest Louisiana Food Bank. If you would like to give online, of course, there will be links, you know, in the chat here on Facebook, but you can go to our website, allsoulshreveport.org. There are links for giving there, but there will be links in the chat as well. Also, I'd like for you to check your email. As treasurer, I'm the one that ends up sending out statements of giving, and we're getting to that time of the year. So I have emailed those to the people I've got email addresses for. If you've given money to the church that we can accurately count, then we give you a giving statement at the end of the year for your tax records. But also, if you've got a pledge and you've got anything left on that pledge, that statement is going to give you an indication of what you need to pay before the end of the year. So that's right, it's pledge time. So I want everybody to be mindful of that. We are really hoping that, hopefully, if you are giving a pledge currently, you might be able to increase that a little bit, maybe by 5%, maybe a couple of dollars, anything and everything, because ultimately the members and the friends of this congregation are the ones who keep this place going. And we are liberal religion for this neck of the woods. So we would appreciate your patronage and your support, and we do appreciate it. Don't think that we don't, okay? Thank you for being here.
Good morning. My name is Susan Caldwell, and I'm the Religious Education Director here. And I wanted to just remind you, today is our Thanksgiving service, and so the children and youth will stay here in the sanctuary with us for this brief service that we'll have, and then we'll process together to the social hall. I also wanted to take a second to explain all of the candles here for those of you who may not know. Today is Transgender Day of Remembrance, and it's to honor the people who have trans and non-binary, non-gender conforming people who have died by violence just for being who they are. And our service for that was yesterday with members of Louisiana Trans Advocates, but we wanted to keep the candles up to honor the lives rather than focusing as much on the deaths. Ash McLean yesterday spoke, and he said, it is right to honor these people. It's right to speak their names. It's sad and horrible that it's had to be done since 1998, and that it probably needed to be done long before that. So keep these people and their families and all of us in your hearts. Yes? Okay. Oh, okay. So Barbara has something else to add, and then after that, we'll be bringing up someone to talk to you a little bit about the amendments that are coming up on the December ballot.
I just wanted to say, in light of the things that happened in Colorado Springs last night, if you have not heard yet, there was a shooting in an LGBTQ club that killed 5 and injured 18 last night. The 911 calls started coming in at 11:57. The thing about that, all of these were the people before that shooting. The issue is still very, very much alive, and there are lots of people we would think would be allies in the fight for LGBTQ rights, along with other civil rights, that are not. And it's critical that people who care about this issue and all of these people watch out for them. Watch out for one another. Watch out for, listen, keep your ears to the ground. It's a challenging time, and the rights that have been taken away from women this year may fall even more sharply on the LGBTQ issues in the future if we're not doing all we can. Thank you. Taha?
Good morning, everybody. I know it feels like we just got out of a really big election, but I'm here to talk about the upcoming December amendments on December 10th for the state of Louisiana. This will be the same day as the mayor's runoff in Shreveport. And I want to focus on Amendment 1, which seeks to prohibit non-citizens from voting in Louisiana elections. Now, if you're not aware, the state of Louisiana already requires you to be a US citizen to vote, by virtue of you have to have a valid state ID or sign a provisional affidavit that says that you're a citizen. So this proposed amendment obviously has no functional value. It's just an attempt to foment racism and hatred against immigrants in our community, and to further demonize them. However, while it's a redundant amendment, the worry is that it may create more barriers to the integration of immigrants in our state. And if you think it's truly not unreasonable for people who work and pay taxes in a community to be able to vote there. It's after all what our nation was founded on. And you may not be aware that in most states and other countries, immigrants or lawful resident aliens who can provide proof that they pay taxes are able to vote in local elections. Louisiana is one of the states that bars that already from happening. So please join me in voting no to Amendment 1 on December 10th to uphold what we stand for in the apparent worth and dignity of every person and living thing. And if you are unable to vote on that day, then I encourage you to request an absentee ballot or to vote early, which will be from November 26th through December 3rd, excluding Sundays, from 8:30 to 6 o'clock. And we now have 2 early polling sites, one downtown and one in the Southern Hills area at Hamilton Library. So thank you. And
Let's let ourselves get here. Relax your shoulders a bit. Let the pew hold you. Take a few deep breaths. And as we come into our Thanksgiving service, I would like to invite Taha back to talk about the land that we're on.
okay, so first off, I would just like to thank Susan and Barbara for letting me do this since last year. This is borrowed from the Toronto Public Schools land acknowledgement that they do. And if you don't know what a land acknowledgement is, it's a way of honoring and acknowledging the Indigenous peoples whose land we are on. And it's a really good time to do this around Thanksgiving when it's okay to be thankful for things and to do the traditions that we normally do, but while also understanding the true history behind that and acknowledging the peoples who've lived here before. So I'm just going to read it now. I would like to acknowledge that this church, All Souls, is situated upon traditional territories. These territories include the Osage, Caddo, and Quapaw nations. The treaty that was signed for this particular parcel of land is collectively referred to as Session 202 of the State Schedule of Indian Land Sessions of 1894 and applies to all lands throughout Caddo Parish and Southwest Arkansas. I also recognize the enduring presence of Indigenous peoples on this land today. And if you want to know more about the Indigenous peoples whose land you live on, you can go to nativeland-ca, and there's a website with a map where you can put in your address and it'll tell you. And I like to leave with just a quote by an Indigenous author who I look up to. This is by Vine Deloria Jr. And he says, "The deep impression made on American minds by the Indian struggle against the white man in the last century has made the contemporary Indian somewhat invisible compared with his ancestors. Today, Indians are not conspicuous by their absence from the view, yet they should be. The Other America, the classic study of poverty by Michael Harrington, the thesis is developed that the poor are conspicuous by their invisibility. There is no mention of Indians in the book. A century ago, Indians would have dominated such a work. Indians are probably invisible because of the tremendous amount of misinformation about them. Most books about Indians cover some abstract and esoteric topic of the last century. Contemporary books are predominantly by whites trying to solve the Indian problem, quote unquote. Between the two extremes lives a dynamic people in a social structure of their own, asking only to be freed from their oppression." Thank you.
honoring those originally marginalized by this holiday. We come to lift our gratitude and elevate matters of worth.
The very breath of life can seem to be a wondrous gift if we can celebrate the moment, understanding what we have. Awareness is the key to make us love our time of life. If we can feel the precious hours living in the here and now, as we give thanks on this day of Thanksgiving for the gift of life we never must forget. So we hold fast to hope undimmed with clear-eyed vision as we give thanks. If we could always feel a deep connection with all life, it is a goal well worth pursuing, knowing that we sometimes fail. If we could never lose the childlike wonder in our hearts, if we could walk the path of gladness, thankful that we're still alive. As we give thanks on this day of Thanksgiving for the gift of life we never must forget. So we hold fast to hope undimmed with clear-eyed vision as we give thanks.
I do not wish to breathe another breath if it is not shared with others. The breath of life is not mine alone. I brought myself to be with you, hoping that by inhaling the compassion, the courage, the hope found here, I can exhale the fear, the selfishness, the separateness I keep so close to my skin, and thereby come to live more fully the gratitude my spirit always carries, even if sometimes I forget it's there. Let us together lift our gratitude for each free breath we enjoy. For whatever reason or insight we might possess, and every day that we experience the luxury of enough. May we give generously to life of all we have and enjoy. Would someone like to lead the first part of our chalice lighting? Miss Susan? Hey, Kate, you're welcome to join her if you'd like.
We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the Church of the Open Mind.
This is the Church of the Helping Hands. This is the Church of the Loving
Heart. Together, with mind, hands, and heart, we care for the earth and for each other.
The second part of our chalice lighting is a song. You remain seated. Those of you who are from this congregation may recognize it. Those who are not, probably won't. We are thankful for those who have come before. We are thankful. We are thankful. We are thankful for shelter away from the storm. We are thankful. We are thankful. We are thankful for the many blessings we share. In the circle of trust, we are bound by prayer. Let us lift up our wonder and humbly pray. We are thankful, thankful. We are thankful for every opening door. We are thankful. We are thankful. We are thankful for healing and justice restored. We are thankful. We are thankful. We are ready to live every day as a prayer. In a world full of pain, we are bound by our prayer. Let us lift up compassion and humbly pray. We are thankful, thankful. Thank you. Would you please rise in body or spirit and say the unison affirmation with us? Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve human need to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the sacred. Thus do we covenant with each other. If you'll remain standing, we can sing one verse of We Gather Together. Adapted by you, Use, and moi. We gather together in humble thanksgiving, enjoying creation whose bounty we share, though sorrow and wish peace everywhere. Thank you so much. Please be seated. So what is gratitude? Thankfulness, appreciation, like, I'm sorry? Adoration. Nice choice. I hadn't thought about that one. Yeah. Well, it's a positive state of mind, isn't it? And it's a quality of being thankful. Maybe thankful is full of thanks. And readiness to show appreciation for others and maybe to return kindnesses. It's recognizing good in life circumstances as we encounter them, or maybe as we think back on them. But does it include a sense of relief? Does gratitude, if you feel grateful, do you feel some relief with that? How about a sense of beholding or indebtedness to something? I feel that. I mean, I'm not saying you have to, but it's a part of it for me. So what's the big deal about gratitude and gratefulness? Why do you think it matters? It allows you to let go. Opens your heart. Helps us to let go of resentments. Well, we keep being told that there's all kinds of scientific proof. I haven't read any of it. And I'm not going to pretend to know about the studies that say anything about it. But they tell us that grateful people are happier, that it makes one more optimistic and generous in general if you have a grateful attitude, that grateful people sleep better, that grateful people have better physical and mental health and well-being, that gratitude opens doors, that gratitude enhances our capacity to be empathetic with other people and reduces any inclination towards being aggressive. Gratitude improves our self-esteem. Grateful people have better relationships. Gratitude makes you less materialistic. Grateful people are more resilient. That means they bounce back faster. Gratitude increases support from others. Gratitude improves your job performance. Gratitude improves your work satisfaction. Gratitude helps you relax. And gratitude enhances your energy levels. Anybody not want that list of stuff? So how do we go about making ourselves grateful? How do we develop gratitude? And it's not about shoulding on yourself. And it's not about focusing on how much better you have it than somebody else. We don't have to do negative comparisons. or negative treatment of ourselves. So how do we cultivate gratitude? Awareness of what? Awareness of what supports us, sustains us, our surroundings. Yeah. What else can help us cultivate gratitude in ourselves? Having a daily practice. A daily spiritual practice helps cultivate gratitude. What else? Being open. Being open helps us become more open. I mean, if we're talking about the stuff that we said before and after, so making habits of it. Well, how about being honest? Acknowledging the things that stand in our way of being grateful. Think that could help? How about really making an effort to say thank you? Yeah. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Anybody got something else? Okay, so how many of you think an attitude of gratitude is worthwhile? How many of you think that maybe in this season you'll give it a little more thought to help yourself get that list of benefits? I'm going to try. Okay, thank you. As we go into a moment of silence and prepare for our candle lighting, I invite you to think about maybe if there's something kind of stuck in your craw that's standing in your way of feeling grateful, and what you might do to help you liberate yourself from that restraint. And also maybe just think about what you feel grateful for today, who you feel grateful for today, why you feel grateful today.
We gather together to ask the Lord's blessing. He chastens and hastens His will to make known. The weak and oppressed shall cease from distressing. Sing praises to His name, He forgets not His own. Sing praises to His name, He forgets not His own. Beside us to guide us, our God with us joining, ordaining, maintaining His kingdom divine. So from the beginning, the fight we were winning. Thou, Lord, were at our side, all glory be thine. Thou, Lord, were at our side, all glory be thine. We all do extol Thee, Thou leader triumphant, and pray that Thou still our defender wilt be. Let Thy congregation escape the tribulation. Thy name be ever praised, O Lord, make us free. Thy name be ever praised, O Lord, make us free.
So I had a good friend, an old friend, do something really nice for me this past week. He made it possible for both of us to go see another friend in Louisville, Kentucky that we had not seen in 40 years, a fellow musician. But the whole time I was there, my friend that made all of this possible kept saying, all that's not shared is lost. He didn't say given, he said shared, and that was his take on it. And it really stuck with me, and it was his mantra. And so I'm not really going to do a sermon today on all that is not given is lost. But I'd like you to give a little thought to what in your life, or to you, or how you might feel about those expressions as we prepare to go down to the social hall for our Thanksgiving communion. It's not a traditional communion for anybody who knows or might be reticent to participate in something like that. it's just a litany we read, and it's about pretty much how fortunate we are. And we do it together, and then we go back out and get in line to get our food and stuff. So as we go into the social hall, I ask that you file in the last door in the hallway and go over to the windows closest to the patio and begin filling in the seats there. Actually, let's forget that first table that's over there by the patio, and begin filling in the seats on the first long table. Just sit next to who you go in next to for the ritual, and then when it's over, we all get up and go back out, and the choir's going to sing a number for you before we do that. And then we'll all just stuff our faces because we have way more food than we can possibly eat. Please stay and help us do that. Okay, if that didn't make sense, just follow everybody else. Within each of us, our hearts, there is a most glorious light. Go forth and let its spark help you understand what troubles both you and others. Go forth and let its light of reason be a guide in your decisions. Go forth and bring its ray of hope to those in need of help in both body and spirit, that they may find healing. Go forth and fan the flames of passion to help heal our world. Go forth and spread the warm glow of love, pushing back the darkness of the world. Go forth, give all of these things that they may not be lost. And go forth and share your glorious light with the world. I didn't want to do that. Well, we won't have a chalice in the social hall.
Familiar highways lined with leaves turn brown, making my way back into my hometown. Funny how this all looks different, but it feels the same. Like how life never stops changing, but some things never change. So fill your plate and fill your drink and fill this house with family, the kind of love that all these years can't wash away. Cause the older that I get, I see that life is short and bittersweet. Thank God for this Thanksgiving Day. Watching football, watching families grow. The old kids' table all have kids of their own. Starting to see my grandfather in my nephew's eyes. Mom still can't talk about him and I'd almost cry. So fill your plate and fill your drink and fill this house with family, the kind of love 1,000 miles can't wash away. Cause the older that I get, I see that life is short and bittersweet. Thank God for this Thanksgiving Day. put your dishes in the kitchen sink and let the leftover year just wash away. 'Cause we made it through, I do believe, the longest year in history. Thank God that it's Thanksgiving Day.